Just a warning, obviously Super Mario Odyssey 2 is not confirmed in any way, shape, or form. This is just a theory, however I do state what I believe is some pretty good evidence, so if you want to hear why I think Super Mario Odyssey 2 might be a thing, then I'm glad you want to hear me out, but if you came here expecting Super Mario Odyssey 2 to be confirmed somehow, just click off this video and save yourself some time. Thank you, and let's get right on into it. Super Mario Odyssey just came out, and it is amazing. Everyone loves this game. It is scoring universal 10s. It is awesome. I don't know how many times I can say that, but it is just straight up awesome. And with awesome games, people are already asking for some DLC. People want more to this game that is already so expansive in so many ways, and I can't blame them. I mean, this game is just so awesome. Even though I'm not even halfway done collecting all the stuff or seeing everything that there is to see, I still want more. But anyway, there has been no DLC confirmed, but I think I can somewhat predict not just DLC, but I can do you guys one better. I have some pretty good evidence pointing to Super Mario Odyssey 2 being a thing. So let's start with the facts. Super Mario Odyssey came out, obviously. It's been out for like 2 weeks now, and there's been no DLC announced for it, and that's where my first point lies. Now, you might think it's kind of stupid that the fact that there's been no DLC announced for this game within a week of the game coming out means that it's automatically getting a sequel. Like, I can tell that you guys are like, what the hell is this guy talking about? But there are some pretty interesting examples from the past that I think kind of play into this theory. So, if you think about it, the last big Mario game, even though it wasn't developed by Nintendo, is Mario and Rabbids. And as I just said, yeah, it wasn't developed by Nintendo, so I know you guys are already probably discrediting this piece of evidence. But just remember, Mario is Nintendo's most treasured franchise. Ever since the CDI games and the Mario movie, they have barely ever let out Mario to anyone. So obviously, the fact that they did it to Ubisoft means that it's great for Ubisoft and Nintendo's relationship, but Nintendo definitely had a huge input into this entire game. So you can't really discredit any evidence from this game just because it was made by Ubisoft, because Nintendo had a gigantic input. DLC was announced for Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle at Gamescom 2017, which, I don't know if any of you guys remember, but that was August 23rd when the game came out on the 29th. So DLC was announced a week before the game even came out. And that's a pretty important part of the game, like when the DLC's announced. So I find it hard to believe that Nintendo wasn't at least notified in this, and I believe that they had a pretty important say. But fine, maybe you don't believe me. Let's go back to the two biggest Nintendo games before that, Splatoon 2 and ARM. Both of those had DLC announced way before the games came out. But those aren't the same type of games, those are online games, you might be saying. Okay, I have more evidence. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Zelda is their second single-handedly most treasured franchise. Zelda and Mario are held in the highest regard of game franchises out there. Breath of the Wild reinvented Zelda as a whole. It was a huge open world experience, just like Odyssey. DLC for Breath of the Wild was announced on February 14th, almost an entire month before the game was released. There is even more evidence about this. It's clear Nintendo just likes to announce DLC before their games come out. We can go back to before this too. Mario Maker we knew would have constant updates, and it did. We got the Mewtwo announcement for Smash Bros. Before the release. The list just goes on and on. So don't you think it's quite a bit odd that Nintendo didn't already announce DLC for this game if DLC was going to happen at all? And so here's where my theory really kicks into third gear. Jump back a decade ago. Super Mario Galaxy. Super Mario Galaxy reinvented the 3D Mario genre. It came out in 2007. It's hailed as one of the greatest video games of all time. It was a critical and commercial success, and it got a sequel. But not just any sequel. Think of that. That's the only 3D Mario game to get a direct sequel, because 3D World wasn't really a sequel of 3D Land, it was just the same style. This is the only direct sequel. Also, think of this. It wasn't intended to be a sequel. A relatively unknown fact about Super Mario Galaxy 2, it was intended to be an update. That's right, files were found inside of the game that were Super Mario Galaxy 1.5, and there were multiple developer interviews with developers of Super Mario Galaxy 2 saying that it was originally supposed to be a Super Mario Galaxy 1.5, and that the developers just had so much fun making the game, and they came up with so many new ideas that it just morphed into a Super Mario Galaxy 2. Doesn't it seem like the developers had a ton of fun making Mario Odyssey? Maybe they had so much fun making the DLC that it's morphed into a second game. I'm really not joking about this, guys. Maybe they had so much fun making extra content, they just had so many new ideas that it's morphed into a second game 10 years after the same thing happened with Super Mario Galaxy. Think about it. Odyssey and Galaxy both reinvented the 3D Mario genre. They were critical acclaims, both scoring 10s across the board. Commercial successes, Odyssey sold 2 million copies within the first couple of days of its release. You can feel the absolute creativity oozing through each of the titles, and it really fits. Just think about it. Nintendo has shown consistently that they announce DLC before the game's release. Mario Odyssey didn't get any DLC announced. Mario Galaxy, 10 years prior, was going to get DLC, and the DLC morphed into a second game. It's not a stretch at all to say that that could be what's happening with Mario Odyssey. And here is my final nail in the coffin for this theory. Mario Galaxy came out November 1st, 2007. Mario Odyssey 4 days before that, just a decade later with 2017. If they were to follow the same pattern, Mario Galaxy 2 came out in 2010, so Mario Odyssey 2 would come out in 2020. Now let's think of what we know about the Switch's catalog. We know of 2 huge games coming out later for the Switch, like blockbuster huge. We know Metroid Prime 4 and Pokemon. Now obviously there are going to be big titles in between that. There's going to be stuff we don't know about, there's going to be the smaller things, but I mean still major events such as Kirby, Yoshi, once again stuff we don't know about, and all that stuff. But if Nintendo's smart with their releases, as they pretty much always are, then it's safe to say that maybe Pokemon will come next year while Metroid comes 2019. What would come in 2020? On top of that, if Nintendo tries to release a mainline Mario every year as they've done in the past, well, we're pretty much positive the 3DS isn't getting one anytime soon. So 2 big Mario games coming to the Switch within the next 2 years, it's almost perfect. A Mario spin-off title would probably be coming next year. We just got a Mario Kart port this year, so probably not that. Mario Party would be perfect for the Switch. Maybe Mario Party coupled with a Mario Maker port would be enough to fill 2018, just because obviously we got such a big one with Odyssey this year, and then maybe a 2D Mario in 2019, leaving 2020 open for Super Mario Odyssey. I really think it just makes so much sense. You might see some of the points that I've made so far as being a bit of a stretch, and I don't know, they probably are. Once again, I mean, I would love if this happened. Chances of this happening, I'd say, are probably less than 10%. I feel like I just saw such a strong connection with Galaxy and Odyssey that I pretty much had to make this video. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching and listening to my theory. If you guys liked it, then please smack that like button. For more Odyssey, Mario, and overall Nintendo content, keep it right here at the Switch Stop. I'm Thomas, signing off.